On Tuesday morning, State Representative Tony McCombie from the 71st District and State Senator Neil Anderson from the 36th District met with local residents at Prophet Hills Country Club. The duo talked about the recently passed Illinois state budget, the frustrations of Illinois legislature, and their hopes in improving state government in the future. The school funding portion of the budget, which is still pending, was a big topic of discussion, with both legislators saying they hope Governor Rauner will use his line item veto to remove the pension part for the Chicago Public School District. Senator Anderson said he was frustrated that no real reforms were part of this year's budget, and added there is still a long ways to go before real reform occurs in Springfield. Representative McCombie sat down and spoke with me about her first 6 months as a state legislator, the process, the frustration, but most of all, her enthusiasm to keep working for a better state of Illinois.
Well, I will say I knew what I was getting into. I knew that things were pretty messy, and I knew the political environment was borderline hostile. So a lot of senior representatives would be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry you're having to deal with this," and I have to remind them this is what we know. This is freshman class. This is what we know, and we're here because we weren't happy with previous representation, and we wanted to see what we could do to make change. Now, luckily, I had some municipal background, so I know government doesn't move fast. So some of my counterparts are frustrated that they didn't get bills called, that they didn't get any reforms, they didn't get anything done. And, in the scheme of things, to get something done that big in your first, 6 months is probably not possible. It's going to take a couple years. And so it's been very interesting. I'm learning a lot. I feel very blessed with the support that I've had from the folks in the legislature. Our staff is wonderful, and the residents within the district and even bordering districts have find that I'm very accessible, and so ask questions, and that helps me learn as well.
Do you see that in this? Well, and we happen to be in Illinois, but of course, in the national level, politics is. It's hot. We are almost evenly divided at points. Do you feel like people are more involved? I know you've only been here, but you were mayor. So you gotta know, but do you feel more people are finally hit the wall and said, okay, enough. Let's get some of this stuff figured out?
I do, and I think that also helps with social media, how easy it is with cell phones, with everybody having some sort of a device. I think it's easier to get informed. It's easier also to have a platform to speak your mind. Sometimes easier to hide behind that platform to speak your mind, which is unfortunate. And I think overall people are just tired of paying more with less action from us to make true change. And they're tired of it. And I think it'll be interesting as time goes on that you will have young people especially. They are getting very informed, very smart, very different than I think I was at 20, and want to talk about their work-life balance and their quality of life. And part of that is how their tax dollars are being spent. So I think they're going to be more informed and make more decisions. So some of those in office are going to be in trouble.
Talk a little bit about the school funding bill. You said this morning you feel pretty confident that we're going to get it through with Rauner's veto. With his veto.
A mandatory veto, supposedly. The SB 1, very similar to SB 1124. We all agree that the evidence-based funding model, all but one, that may be the answer to solving our funding problem. It brings $350 million new to our schools. The thing is that what's being pushed in the public is not the truth, and that is that all schools are going to get new funding, and that's true. All schools are going to get new funding. But what Chicago has done is taken the pension debt and the pension legacy and put that into the funding formula, and that's not how it was designed to work. So what that means, in short, is that it moves Chicago from a Tier 2 to a Tier 1, so they're going to get more money and quicker compared to those of us that are also in Tier 1 already because of the 20 factors. We're doing what or unfortunately not doing what is necessary to be fully funded.
And real quick, so in tier 1 is just meaning the most neediest?
Yes, correct,
The
correct.
neediest.
So there's 20 factors, and it could be your demographics, your performance, your tax burden. There's 20 pieces to that. And the pension debt is a part that puts Chicago from a tier 2, which is legitimate, to a tier 1. And what that means is then we are going to get less. So District 71 and 72, which is Neil's, and I'm 71, yes, they're all getting new money, but with SB1, they're going to get 10.4, 10.6 less than what they really deserve. And I'm afraid that if we were to pass this bill in its form right now, it'll never change, and Chicago kids will be put before ours, and I just can't vote for that.
And now,
support it.
so this is the opportunity you feel, I guess, and most of your people down there feel.
Yeah.
This is the time is now to make this change.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's SB1 is in the budget, so it has to be the funding formula, but it has to be passed in statute because it's not recognized, and that's why there's a holdup on the payment. So I believe the story on the street is that the governor will a mandatory veto and remove that pension piece. I hope he removes some categoricals for Chicago as well, because I don't think it's fair that they get ag education and they get 100% free and reduced lunch and we don't. There's pieces to it too that I hope he scratches as well, but we'll see.
Do you see? Are you feeling? Now the budget's done. Do you feel that there's a more sense of compromise down there than there has been
Oh,
when
gosh.
you talk to your other colleagues?
No. People talk about this budget being a bipartisan compromise. It was a bipartisan vote. It was not a compromise. The compromise stopped Friday evening before the budget, about 11:15. And it was going to be, I think, a much better bill. I do believe we would have saw a tax increase, but we would have had a temporary tax increase. We would have had reforms on workers' comp, on pension, and I think those are things that are very important. And we would have seen a relief on our property taxes to match the income tax, because we get that we're going to have to pay, but let's cap. Also, in that budget, there would have been a cap of $36 billion of spending. There's no cap in this budget. That's a big problem. So it was a bipartisan vote, but I don't believe it was a compromise at all. Now, two folks, Representative Greg Harris as well as Speaker Madigan, both on the floor, stated that they will continue to talk and negotiate reforms, and I have to trust them that they are going to do that. And my philosophy is I'll trust till I can't. This budget passed and proposed and passed was a bite, and certainly took away a piece of that trust. But they've said it in front of God and everybody, so let's hope that they follow through with that.
And do you feel like, let's go to next year already, that those kind of things are actually going to come to fruition? These things, you said they were this close to doing it this time, and at the last minute sort of backed out. The next time around?
I think if the rank and file stay meeting, I think, we will. If Senate and House, Dem and Republicans are meeting in the same room together, I think, yes, we will get some things done. The problem is, even if we draft it, we have to have Madigan propose it to the legislature. And if his members push him, then we'll see something.
Anything else as far as highlights for your first, what has it been, 6 months?
6 months,
down
yeah.
there?
No, it's really glad to be home. I was, that 16 days down there, it was pretty frustrating. And I said to our chief of staff on Thursday, I said, my car is packed and I'm leaving today. And he said, oh, we might be here one more day. And I said, no, my car is packed and I'm leaving today. And my husband happened to come down for the last few days, bring my dog, and I just needed some time. And it was tough. I was done. I was done. I had been there for 2 days. I had missed a vacation with my family in the Grand Canyon. People weren't showing up to work. There was no quorum, and it was disrespectful and very frustrating. But I tell you, as soon as I got home, I was healed. And next day, I had businesses to go see. I had constituents to call, and I'm just back at it, and ready to work. And I think I'm already talking about bills that we can propose for next session. And that's all you can do. You just have to keep fighting the fight. And if nothing else, this has motivated me more than I was motivated when I got there, because it's really not that hard. To pass a balanced budget is not that hard. You have to make hard decisions, but people understand them if you can explain them. Thank you. So I think it's important that we just keep working, just keep pushing the common sense, and like I said all day long, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. I just want you to be fiscally conservative. You don't have to be one or the other to do that. So I think if we can get some more folks in that are like that, the state of Illinois is going to heal, and we have to start that process now.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
much.
you.
I very
Thank
much
you.
appreciate your time. So.